If you know me, you know that I love a build challenge in The Sims. I simply cannot pass up an opportunity to do a silly little build challenge in this game. And the Sims team posted an official build challenge using the new castle kit last week. I wasn't gonna do it because I felt like I made too many videos with the castle kit already. I made like 3 or 4 videos in a row with this pack, which I felt like was a little bit extreme for a kit. But this thing has been staring at me on the home screen of the game every day. So I have to try it, okay? So this build is a shell challenge. And in case you're not familiar, typically with a shell challenge, you'll post like a box on the gallery, which is just the shell of a building, and then people will download that and then turn it into something. This is a shell challenge that I just did over on my Twitch stream a couple weeks ago. And when I say it's a box, I'm not kidding. It is literally just an empty blank box shell of a building that I put up on the gallery. Usually when I do it, it's a lot more open-ended like this because I like how people can take this and then turn it into completely different things. This is what I made out of that shell challenge, but if you look at the hashtag on the gallery, you'll see people turn it into completely different things. There's like houses, there's community lots, we've got different Tudor style things, we've got modern houses, cottages. I mean, people really get creative with this, and I think that's the beauty of a shell challenge. We've done a lot of them here on YouTube, although I haven't posted one on YouTube in a bit, so let me know if I should. I also haven't posted the speed builds of this yet, so if you want to see that, just let me know because I can post it soon. So basically when I think shell challenge, that's kind of more along the lines of what I'm used to, but the Sims team just posted this shell challenge, and this one's a bit different because it's a completely finished exterior, but the inside is empty. I'm actually really glad that they did this too, because I feel like the exterior of a build like this is really daunting for most people. I think even if you like the idea of building a castle, I feel like most people are probably a little bit intimidated by trying to build an entire building like this. Back when I was first starting to build and kind of getting more into it, like way before I had a YouTube channel, I used to look for things like this. I used to not want to do the outside because I didn't really know how, but I liked to furnish the inside. So this would have been perfect for me. I would have had a blast with this. Funnily enough, I think that now I kind of feel the opposite and I prefer to do the exterior than the interior, but I'm still gonna give this challenge a go, and I'm actually gonna do it with just the base game and the new kit. I believe they built this here on this giant 50 by 50 lot in Willow Creek. Oh dear, the gallery does not want to work. Okay, well, we're off to a good start. Unfurnished, it costs 130,000 simoleons. That is so much money. It's also really, really big. So this is what the exterior of this castle estate looks like. I think they've done a really good job with the landscaping here too. I'm really impressed by like the gardens they've got going on in the back. I struggled a lot with the exterior of my own castle, so I'm kind of jealous of their abilities here. I think they did a pretty good job. I know it's not often that I'm like giving props to an EA build, but this one is like genuinely really, really cool. And the inside is a complete blank slate for us. We can kind of do whatever we want in here. In total, it is 4 stories tall. I'm gonna try to stick to traditional shell challenge rules here. So what that means is I can't change anything that has already been placed. I'm allowed to add walls on the inside and build a floor plan. I can change the wallpapers, but all of the windows that are already here have to stay here. I can just add to, I can't remove anything. And I'm not doing this so I can enter like their official challenge or anything. In their Discord server, they're hosting a whole contest with this. I'm not trying to enter that. I just want to do it for fun. But let's just get started here because I've got some ideas. We have to figure out how to lay out these rooms, which is going to be kind of difficult, I fear. In the other castle that I built on YouTube, I had the entrance kind of like a throne room, and I actually quite liked that. And in fact, I used a lot of base game items in there. I had like a base game rug lining the middle of it, and then I had like a throne kind of at the back. So I think I might try to do something like that again. Oh, these are like way smaller than I thought. Okay. You don't really realize how tall the walls are until you try to place stuff on them. It makes this giant medium wall height arch look short on the tall wall height. Okay, so I'm thinking that we make this kind of symmetrical down here. My initial vision right now is that maybe on one side we have like a ballroom type setup. In fact, we could potentially even steal some extra space from this, now that I think about it. The placement of the windows is kind of throwing me off a little bit here, but now I'm thinking like, what if I made this room a bit bigger? So this becomes like a really fancy formal entryway. And then I'm picturing that I'll probably try to open this up, which seems a bit extreme, okay? But what if we tried to open this up and then have that all open to the first floor? So it becomes a really grand 2-story entrance. Something kind of like that is my initial thought. Oh, that totally ruined all of the trim. Okay, we're gonna have to redo all of that. Just bear with me. Trust the process. We will also need a staircase upstairs. So that kind of complicates things a little bit too. Whoa. Could you imagine if I did that? That's so scary. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I'm putting little doors here in the corners. Okay, so I'm picturing that this whole second floor becomes guest bedrooms. We can have 4 bedrooms kind of laid out like this. And then I'm thinking that they all get little ensuite bathrooms. These are probably a bit on the big side, but maybe they're the nicer bedrooms. And maybe they could have like a closet or something. I don't know. We'll worry about that later. We gotta think about floor plan first. Can you put the staircase? Oh, yikes. Okay. Maybe the staircase could go like that, and it could be also open to the downstairs. I know that this takes up a lot of room and probably isn't necessary. It gives us like a lot of hallway, but we could do the same thing again where I like open this up to the downstairs, and that might be kind of cool. I am wasting a lot of space with staircases, okay? I totally realize that, but hear me out, all right? This becomes like the king's private living room or something. Like we're going up, it's becoming more private. And then up here, this is like the private bed chambers of the king. Maybe it's a queen. It's the private bed chambers of the queen, okay? That's what I've decided. The place is just so big. I'm really trying to have a lot of open areas, right? So this big giant room is the bedroom for the king. This maybe is the bathroom for the royals. And then perhaps I'll put bedrooms for the servants in all these towers. I don't know. I haven't really thought it through. Okay, and then back to the first floor. I'm thinking, and this maybe isn't like the most accurate medieval castle vibe, but I'm thinking that we make this into a big kitchen. I want this to be like a banquet hall situation, and then this is like the formal ballroom area. We'll have 2 little bathrooms downstairs and these little squares. There can be like, I don't know, living rooms or something. It's weird. A lot of this is gonna be very strangely furnished. I'm warning you now. Oh, I'm getting overwhelmed and I've barely started. Okay, focus. It's fine. For some reason, any sort of frieze or trim is very annoying to work with. I had to just delete part of it so I could fix the inside. I think this needs to go back around the whole thing. If you're ever having troubles with friezes or trims, just so you know, you can hold shift and place it on just one wall at a time. It'll place like on the wall of just one room. So if you're having issues with it like kind of glitching and placing everywhere, holding shift is key. These are very annoying to work with. So don't worry, it's not just you who struggles with it. Oh, I absolutely despise that. Okay, so that's clipping into the wall. Okay, let's try and do like wooden stuff instead. These are quite fancy. We can make some wooden accents work on the inside, and I'll do some columns upstairs. Although that's not really the vibes that I'm going for. You know what we have to do? We have to get this in. This is like our one shot to use this weird spandrel. Look at how cool that looks in the downstairs area. I did kind of want to have some wood accents in here, but now with like all of the stone that we've got happening, I feel like maybe it'd be better to just let this clip. I don't really mind it that much, and I think I like how everything looks when it's stone. I'm actually gonna move a sim in here too, because I want to change the lighting color in this place. I need to be able to have like candle color adjustments and stuff. The other problem is that doing this with just the base game has really limited the number of candles and sconces that we have. Packs like vampires and get together are really helpful with this, and we don't have those right now. They did use this sconce on the outside, but I kind of want to lean more towards gold. I think that these golden ones are probably better. And I guess if I give them like really yellow toned lighting, it'll be fine. We are gonna have to do so many money cheats. I want to use really expensive stuff in here, starting of course with these golden knight statues. Absolutely necessary. I kind of wanted to have curtains, but I think putting curtains on this when it's 2 stories high doesn't look very good. The curtains will make more sense when I put them in like the dining room type areas. I wish that those hung all the way to the floor. If it were me, I would make the walls shorter, but it's a shell challenge, so it's not me. It's not up to me at all. Okay, I changed the light color to be a bit more yellow, which I think helps. And now I want to go through and start getting our kitchen built. It's always really hard for me to know what's best in spaces like this and like how I should best lay it out, because obviously we're trying to pretend that it's a medieval castle, but it's The Sims 4. So it's not a medieval castle. And if we want it to function, we need to add in some things that like maybe don't make the most sense for our medieval castle vibes. So like, for example, maybe I try and put in a bar somewhere. In real life, it wouldn't have like all these counters or anything either, but I'm just gonna try and fit it all together like this. I want the bar to be centered with the window. But again, shell challenge, like can I even manage that? Maybe not. Oh, you know what else we should do is put a fireplace in every single room. I think that would be amazing. I might have it centered with the door in here. Should I put the fireplace at the end of the thing? I was gonna have it be a throne room, but maybe we don't do that. Who needs a throne room anyway? Realistically, do we need a throne room? No, it doesn't actually do anything in game. So we can probably just line this with some chairs or something. I don't know. Should I put the bathroom doors in here in the entrance? This is hard. I don't know what to do. Let's do one room at a time. Let me just stop for a second. Let's think about the kitchen, okay? Think dark. Think fancy. We'll get some cabinets lined up over there. We should really just try to embrace the weird shape of the room as well. Like, let's just commit to how strangely it's all laid out. I need this to be centered. I can't do it. There is going to be some clipping with the cabinets, but we're just going to have to accept that, okay? It looks better this way. It's okay if it clips. We have to just let it clip. Okay, so perhaps this is like the informal dining space that the servants eat at in the kitchen. And then we can have like a proper banquet hall thing going on in that room. Cupcake machine? Oh, no, stop. Stop, Kayla. You should not do that. I was thinking about maybe adding in like a microwave, but that doesn't really work either, so maybe I shouldn't. Right now, I'm just going through and trying to find literally any clutter that could potentially work and then putting that down. Okay, so this is what I've got going on in the kitchen. I've got some clutter kind of just placed around all the cabinets. We've got the table in the middle. We've got a storage. It is functional because we have the trash can, the sink, the fridge, and the stove. And then in this room, this is where I was picturing we would go for like full-on banquet hall vibes. And by that, I really mean like long tables covering the whole room. I might just do 2 long tables. And then I'm thinking we'll get some red chairs like this, and we'll do red on the curtains. I know we've got red like everywhere, and I did red in my last castle, but when you're trying to use the base game stuff, like there's not a ton of options. Sometimes you just gotta use what works. We don't even have good ceiling lights to use. Like that's just not what I want it to be like in here, but I don't really have another choice. Maybe we line the dining table with some pretty vases like this. I guess the fireplace should probably be centered with the dining table then. The clipping makes me want to cry. I know I just got done saying I didn't mind it, but actually I think I do mind it. Oh, I hate this build already. Oh my god. It's so hard. The Sims makes it so hard. My vision is to have fancier chairs at the heads of the table like this, and maybe we put another bar. Like what if we put a bar in the corner of the banquet hall? Oh my god. It's a 1 tile bump out there and a 2 tile there, so I can't really center it the way I want to. It's okay. It's okay. We're used to it. The Sims 4 is just like this. We just have to learn to accept our fate and it'll be fine. I don't think I'll put bar stools there, but I think it's nice to have the bar because then we can pretend maybe that like someone is serving from here for the banquets or whatever. Plus, if you wanted to have a party here, you could like totally have your Sims get married in here. Imagine if you put like the wedding arch and you had it right there in the front of all this. I mean, that's kind of chaotic, but you could technically do that. Should I decorate this like a wedding venue? I think I will. I think I'm gonna turn it into a wedding venue. Okay, couple changes of plans if we're gonna make this into a wedding venue. And this is gonna be weird, okay? But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And in this case, what I gotta do is have an interior window. But I want the wedding arch in front of a window. I mean, you understand, right? Like that's the vibes. We could do it with stained glass. Yikes. It's like blue. That's not really what I want. Is it okay that you can see the room behind it? I'm not sure. What if I just close that off? For the sake of your screenshots, that'll be fine. It's okay. I'm so annoyed that this does not match anything. In the yellow color, maybe it matches, but it like, I don't know. I don't know if I can bring myself to do that. This guy doesn't even come in gold either. Oh my god. What do we think about this so far? with the chairs lined up and everything. I don't know. This isn't really what I was initially picturing when I set out to build this, but I think it's fun still. It's gonna be super useful, like super functional. I guess it's kind of weird that we have the bathrooms right next to where you get married, but it is what it is. They could be in worse places. The bathrooms don't really need to be fancy, they just need to be functional, so as long as your Sims can access the toilets, then it's fine. I have no idea what to put on the walls. Oh no. See, this is where I really wish that we had packs, because I want to use like the vampires tapestries and stuff. I'm gonna get 2 lights here, because if we've got 2 lights, then this will hopefully make for better screenshots for your Sims. And that's the goal here, is to get nice wedding screenshots. Okay, so that's where the wedding arch goes. I don't think that I want to put too much else in here, aside from maybe like an extra light or 2 on the 2nd floor to hopefully brighten it up. I say we just leave it. And then in here, this becomes the ballroom. So where you'll have like the dancing and the music. Because it's just base game, we don't have like a proper dance floor item or anything, but we can still kind of pretend. I'm thinking we either use a rug like this, or we try and do like a fake marble floor. I think that the more checkerboard we go with it, the worse it gets though, because that was my first thought, was to do something like this. But I'm just worried because the whole thing is like checkerboard on the floor. I think that's bad. I think it should be a solid rug. I don't want to use any of this music. This is not my vibes at all. What if I put a wall speaker and then tried to hide it in something? Like if I really size the wall speaker down and then put it like in the light. No. I guess this one will do. I'll try and center that too with the walls. The curtains are so high up, and like in a bad way. They are way too high up in a bad way. I already committed to not being allowed to move the windows, and we did already commit to not being allowed to move the windows, so we just have to accept it. I'm trying to think about ways that we can make the walls more interesting, and here's a thought. What if I tried to get some cool paneling pieces? I put the sconces in there, and then it makes this look like it's intentional because it's matching the sconces. So the Sims can dance here on the dance floor. We need like some proper instruments. I'm getting some like expensive fancy instruments. I guess in my little like pretend vision that I've got going on here, they'd probably have live music always, but because it's The Sims, we have to figure out some way to have an actual speaker somewhere. So we can do both like this. We can have the live music up here on a little stage. Okay, and now that we settled on this idea for the wedding venue, I want to leave this as a table for your cake. I'll get some flowers and stuff behind it. I'm doing this with just the base game, so I don't have like the buffet table item or anything either, but you could probably put the buffet table there too if you wanted to. It might be better to have that in the dining room, but we'll stick the cake out where the party's all happening. The red is horrendous. Red is like my all-time least favorite color. I really do not like it. I don't like how it looks at all. And it's everywhere in this build in a bad way, but that's fine. I think I might leave some open space because I want there to be room for dancing and for like people to gather. I know the Sims don't really need that, but in real life you'd want that. So I'm gonna leave some space here. Now this, I'm thinking about turning into like an office study sort of vibe. Somehow I am out of money again. Money goes away quick when you're trying to build a house using all of the most expensive items in the game. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Money does go away fast when you're trying to use all of the most expensive items in the game. There's like this cool coat of arms thing that we could probably use in a few places. I might try and get that as like a decorative item in a couple of these cool looking nooks and crannies. Do you think it's weird if I put it as like a decorative item above the archways? Because I don't know. It might be weird to have it above all the archways, but I can put it above some. So this is what I'm thinking for the downstairs so far. We've got kind of a good flow for the wedding as well. There's a lot of space, so you can really spread out with all of the events. I didn't put a computer in the office because I feel like this is a medieval house. We don't really need that. Upstairs though, this is gonna take a little bit more thought, I'm feeling like. If you wanted to, you could totally pretend that your Sims are like spending the night here after their wedding, because we have all of these guest rooms upstairs, but you would probably stay in like the top floor in the fancy rooms. So maybe I'll do those first. How ridiculous would it be to have like enormous double doors into the bathroom and the bedroom? Maybe a little ridiculous. And of course the stairs are gonna clip again because I can't avoid it. Absolutely, without a doubt, I am using the most expensive bed in the game. We just have to use it. I don't know about what color to put it in. I kind of like that navy blue because it matches the blue accents a bit. We'll get fancy golden lamps. We can have a pretty gold chandelier that matches. I unfortunately don't think that these curtains come in like a nice navy color, which is really annoying. Shockingly, the base game is kind of lacking when it comes to medieval inspired furniture. I know, who would have thought, right? We gotta do knights outside of their door to like protect them or something. I think I'm struggling a lot with the symmetry of this space. Like I think the fact that it's so symmetrical makes it hard for me to decorate it, and I feel like it's not looking good because of that. But also, realistically, I think that a house like this would be kind of ugly. Like the furniture would be kind of strange and gaudy, and like the symmetry makes sense in that way. So I'm committing to it, but I don't know. It's kind of throwing me here while I'm trying to furnish it. Up here in this primary bedroom, we've got like a chess table, I've got a mirror, there's 2 dressers and a fireplace. I wanted this to be a really huge bathroom. I can't believe this place is 4 stories. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like a nice small build for us to work on today. This is not small. This is not nice. It's taking me hours. That's okay. It's fun, but it's just like, when will it end? You know? Okay, I'm doing tub in front of the window because that's kind of amazing. Imagine the view from that. And you're on the 4th floor, so nobody can see you. Oh my God, you don't really realize how big the rooms are until you go and start furnishing them. And like, look how much space there is. This is unnatural in like a bad way. I've decided to put a closet because I think that's a nice way to split up the room a little bit more. Also, weirdly, I put 2 double doors into the primary bedroom. I think that's okay. I think it's just fancy, all right? So just let it be. Just accept the double doors, all right? I'll have like 1 wall light in that closet space, and then maybe that's the full upstairs finished. No, let's size up some coat of arms and put them here on these blank walls. Okay, that actually helps a lot. This, annoyingly, is clipping. Where did you just delete? Out here? Back to fixing trim, apparently. Okay, so the top floor is finished. That leaves us with just 2 more floors to do. That's all. Nothing too much, really. Just 2 whole stories. I think these guest rooms can be relatively simple, though, because again, gameplay-wise, you're gonna be mostly using the downstairs. The guest rooms are more like bonus stuff, at least to me. I do not like the layout of these rooms at all. I think I'm gonna use these beds. Or would it be so bad if all the rooms have the same color scheme? I mean, it'd be kind of bad, but they're just the guest rooms. No, I'll try to make them different. I'll be brave. Yikes, that bed looks really bad with this. I think that's ugly. We talked about this though, ugly's good. Ugly is what we want for this building. Ugly is like the inspiration here. While I'm doing this, I really need to remember to make sure we have a fireplace in every single room, because in this old building, like it would be cold in here. So they want to have fireplaces to heat everything up. And then that's also our light source. Obviously, you know, this is a modern Sims build. We've got actual lighting, but the fireplace is necessary for life. I actually probably should have put more fireplaces than I even have now. Okay, so here's the first bedroom. I'm gonna have their bathroom be very similar to the other one upstairs. I'm definitely not giving anybody any showers. I don't really feel like that's the vibes. Maybe I'll put the tub in the corner. I don't know. How does one appropriately decorate a bathroom like this? When you only have the base game, what do you put in a medieval inspired bathroom? The options are very limited. Of course, there's not any windows on this section of the tower, and I'm not allowed to change that, so we have to just kind of accept it. I'm picturing that this bedroom will have like a slightly more blue vibe. Oh, maybe I'll use the small beds. Oh my God, we're out of money again. This will be good to have because if you've got any kids in your Sims family, they can stay in here. We'll get that like Princess Cordelia bust or something put on the table. I'm finding all kinds of things that I always kind of forget to use. Like maybe some of this golden wall decor could be cute above the bed or something. I hate this clipping. I hate the clipping. I actually can't focus on it. It's making me hate the build. I know that I can't do anything about it. I know I'm kind of stuck, but oh my God, it's really bothering me. I don't know how to do curtains in this room because the windows are different sizes. I can do curtains in this bathroom at least. I'll make them kind of a lighter color. Okay, so I have this kind of weird little hallway space. I'm wondering if I can just put some cabinetry in there and we can pretend that it's like a wardrobe. I mostly just built this wall here because I felt like the bathroom was too big, so I wanted to split it up, but I kind of like the wardrobe situation. Okay, we've gone through and furnished the whole second floor now. So we've got in total 4 bedrooms, but there's space for like probably 8 Sims down here. This first one on the left has a big double bed plus a huge bathroom and a wardrobe. We've got a weird like brown themed room with a strange triangle shaped ensuite. There's some staircases upstairs in the middle. We've got 2 single beds in here with another weird triangle ensuite. And then we also have this bedroom with another big wardrobe and ensuite. So it's all very symmetrical. Then you come upstairs and the upstairs takes you to this big empty room. I was originally talking about trying to decorate these like servants' quarters, but we already have so many bedrooms. I probably don't need to do that. I might just leave the towers empty. At this point, we're like playing a game. How much money can I make this ridiculous house cost? But I guess I had kind of pictured this room as being like a private living room for the royal family, or at least it would have been before it was turned into a wedding venue. But we can still furnish it like a private living room because there isn't a living room in this house. We have like the ballroom and stuff, but this needs to be like just a normal living room, I think. Strangely, I want to have a fireplace. I think it might be weird to have the fireplace underneath the windows, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm out of money again. I've done so many money cheats today. I might try and decorate this with some of those same fancy flowers that we've got downstairs. I don't really even like those flowers that much, but I think it's nice to have the continuity. And there's this weird little golden fake tea set. I think I might put that on the middle of this coffee table. And with that, shockingly, we're actually just about done. I need to go through and do some last minute touches. Like I think maybe having some more of these sorts of lights, like these little candles might be kind of good. I don't know, just something to help fill in some of the open space. But we've got a fully furnished, mostly, except for a couple parts, 4-story giant wedding castle. I think I'll leave a lot of the exterior. I almost don't want to touch their shell, so I don't really want to change the outside too much. I'd like to focus mostly just on the inside. And this is what I've come up with here. I probably could have spent more time on this and decorated it more. Mostly it's just hard for me to move past the clipping and also the lack of packs, because I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I want to use vampires, or I want to use Get Together, but I set out to do it with just the base game. So it's still good, I think, but it probably would be better if we had a couple other packs to fit in. It's hard to use this castle pack with only the base game. We don't really have as much as I might like to have to do a full 4-story house. Actually, a lot of this stuff does fit the castle vibe. Like a lot of the base game furniture does work. It's just that the place is so big and there's only so much in the base game, you know? So that's kind of my main struggle, but I think I should probably end it here. Otherwise we'll be here all day. I'll give you a quick tour though. So this is the exterior the Sims team built. And when you first walk into our castle, you walk into where the wedding is going to take place. We've got the wedding arch and some chairs leading up to it. It's actually really pretty in here. And saying that, I just noticed I should probably paint the ceilings, so I'll come back to that too. But when you come over to the left, we've got the banquet hall all kind of lined up. I wish that we had some bigger chandeliers as well, but again, base game. Through the banquet hall, you can access the kitchen. We've got an extra breakfast table in here. We've got an office study sort of area, and then we have the dancing on this dance floor in this sort of like party room area. When you go back up the staircase, we come up to the second floor where we have those 4 bedrooms, and then you can come around this way and go up that staircase into the, whoa, I'm lost, into the tea room, and then you can go up those staircases into the primary bedroom on the top floor. So it's a really, really big space. We've got a lot going on. It's like 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, but I am gonna post it on the gallery as a wedding venue, so I just kicked that sim out. If you ever want to paint the ceiling, it is kind of a process. It's also kind of laggy when you try and do it, but you can put any floor tile on the ceiling. I'm just gonna use the same floor tile on the ceiling because the whole place is pretty much made out of stone, but I am warning you, at times you will find yourself very frustrated by the lag of placing ceiling tiles. It's gonna look a lot better though. Like look at this now. When you come in here with this stone on the ceiling, it's not as odd as the like stark white contrast was, but we are officially finished with the build. So I'm gonna change it to a wedding venue. I'm gonna call it the Castle Wedding Venue on the gallery. It is officially uploaded now if you wanna go and download it. And if you wanna try the castle shell for yourselves, EA's username is just Maxis on the gallery. So you can find the official build here on their Maxis profile. They've got a lot of stuff on here if you're ever looking for it. They sometimes post stuff from like the trailers and things like that, but I have talked long enough. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe because I do a ton of building here on YouTube, and I am going to see you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. Oh my god, there's a cat in my office. I didn't even see her come in here. Oh, now I feel kind of bad that I didn't like say hi to her in the video. I'm sorry, Sunny.